Good morning, students. This video is for class 11th computer science students. The topic is user defined functions. Let's first discuss what are the functions in C++ program. A function in C++ refers to a group of statements that takes input, processes it, and returns an output. Each C++ program has at least one function, that is the main function. There are three main aspects of a function, that is input, then it processes it and returns an output. The statement in C++ is nothing but it is a simple sentence that we write in our programs, like when we write cout enter any number. This simple sentence is also called a statement in C++ program. Why we use these functions in our program? There are certain advantages of using these functions in our programs. First advantage is each function puts related code together. This makes it easier for programmers to understand the code. Secondly, functions make programming easier by eliminating code repetition. Thirdly, functions facilitate code reuse. You can call the same function to perform a task at different sections of the program or even outside the program. Types of functions. There are basically two types of functions. One is built-in functions and other one is user-defined functions. The built-in functions are also called library functions. These functions, we can use them directly in our programs by simply calling them in our programs. The best example is math.h or void main. These are the built-in functions. The user does not have to write code for these functions. They can simply invoke or directly call them in their programs. Second is user-defined functions. User-defined functions are those functions which are created by the user. Here user creates a code and it can use in their programs. C++ allows programmers to define their own functions. The purpose of the function is to group related code. Here this is an example of a built-in function. Here we have used a math.h library function for calculating a square root of a number. Here we have declared two numbers, num and square root. These are the two numbers we have declared, and then we are calculating the square root of that number by using the math.h file, library file. This is an example of built-in function. We are not writing the code for calculating the square root of a number here. Simply we are using the math.h file. Now we will discuss user-defined functions. User-defined functions, there are three important parts in user-defined functions. Number first is function declaration, then we defining a function, and third is calling a function. We will discuss each one of them one by one. First, function declaration or prototype. A function declaration tells the compiler about a function name and how to call the function. The actual body of the function can be defined separately. Here is an example. The return type, then we write function name, then parameter list or argument list. For example, int max, we have write int comma int in round brackets. The max is the user defined function. It is a name of the function. The first int, it is the return type of the function, and two ints, these are the arguments that are passing in a function. It is important to note that function declaration is always declared outside the main function. Then the second part of that is defining a function. The function can be defined by using the following format. First, return type, then function name and parameter list. Curly brackets open and curly brackets close. Within curly brackets we use the body of the function, or we can say we use the group of statements. Here the function is defined. The function actual code is right here in the function defining. A C++ function defining consisting of function header and a function body, and there are certain important points related to this function defining. First, it is return type. A function may return a value. The return type is the data type of the value that the function returns. Some functions return the desired operations without returning a value. In this case, the return type is keyword void. In certain cases, the function does not return any value. In that case, we write at place of return type, we simply write void, then the function name and the parameter list. Void means the function is not returning any value. The function name is the actual name of the function. The function name and the parameter list together constitute the function signature. Then we have the parameters, or we can simply say them arguments. A parameter is like a placeholder. When a function is invoked, you pass a value to the parameter. This value is referred to as actual parameter or argument. Then we have function body. The function body contains a collection of statements that define what the function does. So within the function body, actual code of the function is written. Then we have calling a function. The function can be called by two ways. One is call by value and other is call by reference. Functions are called by their names. If the function is without argument, it can be called directly using its name. But for functions with arguments, we have two ways to call them: call by value and call by reference. Call by value. In this technique, we pass the value of arguments which are stored or copied into the formal arguments or functions. Hence, the original values are unchanged. Only the parameters inside the function changes. And in call by reference, we pass the address of the variable as arguments. In this case, the formal arguments can be taken as reference or pointer. In both the cases, they will change the values of original variables. Here it is simple example of a user defined function. In this case, we have declared as first we declare a function sum without any return type and without any arguments are passing. So function declaration is done here, void sum void. Then we have define a function. Defining a function means we are expanding the function, what the function actually is doing in this program. Here void sum, then curly brackets open and curly brackets close. In this case, int a, b, c, these are the three variables we have declared. Then we have entered the values of a and b, and simply we add a and b and store the result in c, and then we have cout c. So this is the actual code of the function. Both declaration and defining, it is done outside the main function. Here it is done outside the main function, and the calling is inside the main function. Here simply the function is neither returning anything nor it is passing anything. No argument is passed, neither it is in this function is neither returning any value. Here simply we have to call the function by using the name of the function. The name of the function is sum, so it's calling of a function. This is a simple program of user defined function. Thank you very much.